segment of GM Corner features Mr. Mark Bado. Mark is the GM COO of Meisner Country Club in Delray Beach, Florida. Mark, good morning. How are you?
Welcome. Glad to be here. Thanks for having
Good.
me.
Thank you. My pleasure. You've had the opportunity to work at some of the most notable private clubs in the country. Would you like to share any stories of, from an educational standpoint, of what you learned out of each of the clubs?
Well, I think I've been very blessed to work at some of the top clubs you mentioned. Oakmont Country Club being my very first one where I broke in the industry. Also, I got to work at Houston Country Club, Myers Park, Country Club Peoria. So it's been a great journey. Now we're at Meisner. And I think there's some common threads of those clubs. And it's clubs only have three assets. And I look at those things and has to have a great membership. And I think that's a foundation of what we look at. But in order to have a great membership, you have to have great staff, and you have to work with that staff and develop that staff and make sure the staff's the one who's creating those wonderful memories. And our responsibility as leaders is to really take care of the staff and provide the staff the tools to be successful. And the third asset is just something called the physical assets of what they have. And obviously over the past several years, we have spent a ton of money to enhance those features. But I think you have to have all three of those to be successful. Great membership, great facilities, but having great staff is a foundation of who we are.
Yeah, good point. So regarding staff, I know that Meisner Country Club, it's a pretty extensive facility.
Yes.
Over a large area, requiring a lot of staff. From a lot of our club clients, staff retention is really difficult to find good staff employment opportunities that are sustained throughout the calendar year. Do you have any challenges yourself at Meisner?
I think everyone has challenges with staff, and we're in the process of doing something called a strategic plan. And the surveys out to the membership. But in order to get a foundation for that, we did focus groups with members and for staff. And one of the things that came out was very loud and clear that not only do we have to have a good plan going forward, we have to have a great plan to have good staff retention. You have to be the employer of choice. You have to do things that are above and beyond, because you don't want them walking for $1 or $2 or more an hour, or some other things. You want to make them want to come to the club and feel good about it. The only way they're going to provide a great experience is they feel good about where they are. And that's one of the biggest challenges I think we have as leaders is retaining that staff, developing the culture, and that's such a buzzword, culture, but you have to become an employer of choice in order to serve the membership.
Absolutely, and most of our projects do involve enhancement of the member, obviously the member areas, but the employment staff areas as well.
Absolutely, you see that more and more. I just talked to a good friend of mine, Paul Bavinzi, who's doing some work up even in Reading, Pennsylvania, and the focus is on better kitchens for the staff, better equipment, but also better break rooms. And they're just not places where you would take a break. There's good locker rooms, good showers, fitness facilities, things that the staff are looking for to provide. It's not just about pay, which is very important, but it's all the other things that go around it to help retain the staff and make it an employer choice.
Let's talk a little bit about Meisner's kind of the membership makeup. I know that being in Delray Beach, Florida, South Florida, very popular locale for a lot of retirees, great weather, a lot of wonderful things about South Florida. Are you seeing what we're seeing nationally with being more of a trend towards younger families coming into your membership demographic?
Absolutely. We could talk about COVID for a long time, but one of the things that happened during COVID, I was fortunate or unfortunate, I was the chairman of our association during COVID. And if you would have asked me in end of March, I would have said, I'm not sure if we're going to have a job, a club, any of those things. But by the end of May, because we were so resilient, we depended upon each other, it wasn't our lowest point. I think it was our greatest moment in our industry's history, how we provided a safe haven for our members. And being in South Florida, Southeast Florida, places like North Carolina, Southeast Florida, Texas, people are moving in droves. Scottsdale, Arizona, people are moving their whole family down to those areas. And our average age is dropping. Typically, we were a seasonal club where a lot of members would be gone in the summertime. All those car carriers that came down in November would pick their cars up in the summertime. They're staying year round because they've moved their whole families, and they're looking for programming 12 months a year. And it's we're dealing with a lot of clubs is this multi-generational situation where you have young members who come in and spend a lot of money. They come in and they're paying big dues numbers, and they want more and more and more. And you got some people who've been there a longer time, maybe not pay as much in initiation fees, and don't have those same desires that some of the younger people are. So you're trying to balance out all those needs as it relates to making sure the membership's happy.
Fantastic. One last question for you.
Yes.
As a seasoned veteran within the management community, very well known, very popular veteran GM, do you have any words of wisdom for any young folk that are coming through the management process, and any educational experiences you can draw from?
So the first thing is push yourself. Always get out of your comfort zone and expand your horizons and put yourself in growth situations. But probably one of the biggest things is find a mentor, and don't have someone assigned to it, something that you gravitate to. And when you're selecting your career path, you're not selecting the club or the logo. You got to select the people you want to work for who have interest in you. I was blessed in my career. I just came from the awards breakfast, and the LaRocca family sponsors something called the Mentor Mentee Scholarship. And I was very blessed that when I started my career, I worked for Pat LaRocca, the godfather of the family, and he was a great mentor and still is to this day. And his brother Richard's a great mentor. And it's funny, growing up at Oakmont, there's two young kids who were running around. They were 12, 13 years old. And they were Pat's kids. One was named John Anthony LaRocca. The other is Nicholas LaRocca. I got to know them for a long time.
Yeah.
And even they are great mentors to me. And I think it's important you find people who's going to help support you, become part of your personal board of directors and help you grow and challenge you what you do. And having that type of relationship will help you get through help elevate you when you need that, and also when you need to be picked up to help pick you up also. So I think having a mentor, and you can have more than one or two, but having great mentors and working for people who really care about your career and your career path is probably the best advice I give, along with developing your core values and continue to push yourself outside your comfort zone.
Fantastic. Thanks for being with us, GM Corner, Mark.
My pleasure.
Mr. Mark Bado, Meisner Country Club. Thank you.